Well, yeah, I found that in the Porsche, and I'm sure you did in the SRT. It's surprising, you know. It feels like it will grip forever, but when it goes, you know about it.
Yeah.
When it steps out, you suddenly think, yeah, I'm not such a driving good god after all.
It does. It has what they call tire chatter, or a tire hop. So, because of the tires themselves and how big they are, and the turning radius, when on a cold day you do a sharp turn, it'll feel like you're in a four-wheel drive going.
Yeah, it will skip a bit.
Yeah, so it actually came with a little tag that said that's normal. There, that, and they also said that going over bumps and stuff, that it'll do weird stuff too. So it's kind of an interesting.
So I was kind of saying last night, I said, well, most people buy the 2LT, I expect that's what he's bought, but in time he'll regret not buying the Z06. And then as soon as I saw those rear tyres, I thought, that's the Z06. Because that's just phenomenally wide, those rear tyres.
They are.
Now this is like a couple hundred horsepower more than your SRT, because 450 horsepower just isn't enough to get to and from public. Obviously, you might run out of power or something. Yeah. But do you find driving wise this is just as easy?
Yeah, I mean,
no real problem.
So it's automatic. So
I'm not suggesting that the red line is as easy, but just in general terms,
you can drive it normally. I mean, the only thing I will say, you don't have to give it a whole lot of gas for it to perform like a regular car. So when you stop on the gas, it does actually respond in a way that's a little unusual.
What I instantly noticed about this, which I've forgotten about, was the same with the Porsche, is that because it's got big sticky tyres and very lightweight, so it's lack of insulation, you really hear all the stones flicking up underneath the wheel arches.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to turn it into a Bentley, a heavy Bentley.
Exactly.
What's that all about?
Yes, that's right.
It's perfectly fine. If she doesn't like it, she can walk. That's what I say.
She's like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it was more for, I can get rid of it. But yeah, I noticed that immediately too. I'm like, damn, this is loud in here.
I think you kind of, if you live with it every day, particularly for me, because the Porsche was my daily driver, you soon forget about it. Sure. It's not until you get in like a minivan like we've got in front of us or something that you suddenly realise, wow, actually this is loud. This is quite loud.
Exactly.
And, I mean, I don't see it as a bad thing. I just kind of think that it is what it is. You didn't go out to buy a floating barge, not a boat.
And that's true. Exactly.
You're buying something that's offering incredible performance.
Right.
Because we all know if this had a Ferrari badge, they'd want another 150 grand for it, right? Straight away.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
And just because for the history and the kudos and all the rest of it and that. But at the end of the day, for this is not an inconsiderable purchase. It's not a cheap car, but where can you get a 6.2 litre V8 with 650 horsepower, handmade, hand assembled in what do they call it, Bowling Green,
Kentucky,
hand assembled by one engineer for this kind of money? You just can't. That's why it's such a bargain.
You get the idea. It will get away.
Yeah,
quick.
Sounds fantastic as well.
Yeah,
that's just so nice.
And really, I probably shouldn't be doing that because we haven't done our first 500 miles because of that right there.
Fortunately, you did it exactly the right time.
That's right.
Just.
but it's it's. I'm still just kind of, and that wasn't even wasn't even hard down. So
you can feel it wants to go. It's like a racehorse that you're having to hold back a bit.
Exactly.
That stuff, and that's kind of a good thing, bad things at times, isn't it? At times it can be a bit frustrating because you want to let those horses fly, but other times it's kind of nice knowing that you've got all of that, and you're appreciating the experience. So it's pretty cool. Hello, Ride On people. Did you like that? That's my friend Scott's brand new Chevrolet Corvette Z06. It's also got the Z07 upgrade package, which means he's got the magnetic ride control and also the carbon ceramic brakes, which are pretty awesome as well. The whole thing looks and sounds amazing, and you know, I'm really pleased for him. It's a 50th birthday present to himself, so happy birthday, Scott. What did I think of it? Well, you know, it's some ways archetypical of an American muscle car in that it's heavy because it has a monster V8 fitted, and that V8 is hand built in Bowling Green by one engineer, in this instance a lady called Kathy, and hats off to her. She's made a monstrous engine of 650 horsepower and 650 torques in that LT4 engine, and it just sounds absolutely awesome. And in that respect, it's kind of, you know, it's not the lightest car, but it makes a shed load of power, and it sounds awesome. And it's also not the heaviest car either. There's other cars that, like the Dodge Challenger, which put out a lot of power in SRT form. They put out 450 horsepower, and incidentally, Scott's also got one of those. And also the Dodge Demon is now putting out 707 horsepower, but it's a much heavier car, and it's much more made for the drag strip, much more made for straight line speed, whereas the Z06 and also its little brother, the Carrere ZL1, particularly in 1LE track package, is really made for spanking the track. And the only downers I can see are some people would find it a bit thirsty, but you know, what the hell, you don't buy a car like that with kind of Ferrari type performance at that bargain price and then bitch and moan that, you know, you're only getting 12 to the gallon or something. If that's important to you, not ready for you. The other thing that's going to be quite heavy is tyres. Have heard of some people that, particularly if they track day, are going through a set of tyres in like 3,000 miles. Well, the rear tyres I think are about $380 each, and then the fronts are about 500 a pair. So you're talking about 1,200 plus tax, plus fitting, plus balancing, and probably used gently on the road without any track use. You know, you're gonna be lucky to get maybe 10,000 miles out of it. But essentially, you know, if you can live with the pace that it chews up rubber and the pace that it drinks gasoline, then if you can afford one, you're going to be very happy with it. Anyway, going to keep this brief. Hope you enjoyed it. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.